Hello, how are you doing? Today let's take a look at career path CA through ACCA. Now, in a scenario where a 10 plus 2 student in commerce, for example, has done very good, pretty good in board exams, 90% plus. Now, he has no idea of what he should do for graduation. Okay, so the courses recommended are CA through BBA. Now, based on your interest, um, commitment, and aptitude for accountancy, etc., um, choose the. The higher the better. Okay, because BBA among all these courses are lowest paid compared to other courses. Okay. Now, having said that, now we are mostly focusing on these four, whereas the other three, integrated MBA and to BBA, is already discussed in another video under playlist called Career Guidance. Okay. Now, now if we take a better, if we continue our discussion, if you see all these four courses, CA through ACCA, these are powerful and popular courses, just like medicine course. Okay. Its credentials are like that, very powerful courses. Now, the difference among these four would be mostly on the demand in job market and the scope of work. And I would like to bring into your attention one of the frequently asked questions. What about these courses? Are they recognized as college degree or not by UGC? And here is the answer. The answer is yes. It is considered or regarded as master degree by UGC. Um, let's continue. The first one is chartered accountant, and let's see what that means. Um, Chartered accountant professionals um, are responsible for financial accounting as well as monetary related things. They would they can work for business, government, or for a high net worth individual. Well, to any individual for that matter, but definitely a high net worth individual needs to plan his monetary stuff also, including the financial advice. Um, so they are into these core responsibilities: managing finance, give financial advice, money management, etc. In a company, they are in charge for all these accounting systems, generating financial reports, general ledger in charge, and they are responsible for compliance for both state and revenue service. I hope you got some idea what it means for a CA in a given day for a career for their entire career. Now, what does it takes to become a CA? To complete CA, typically it takes an average 5 years. Difficulty is set of exam, and your aptitude to accountancy will be tested to the core. Well, the commerce or math aptitude student, if prepared the CA examination with the right strategy, are cracking the exam. There is no age limit. Your total expenditure for the fees will be 1.5 lakh plus. Now the steps involved after plus 2, 10 plus 2, enroll for CA foundation course. This is an entrance test. Then after that, you will do the second level course called intermediate. Then you will do 3-year internship, and finally CA final exam, which is final course. Well, let's see some of the facts here. CA definitely has a lot of job opportunities, and in the market, since there are more CA graduates than CMA or ACCA, there is competition as well. Okay, your employers are financial institutions like bank, insurance, etc. Government appoint you as consultants. Then you will work in business. You, business needs you, and you can be also a freelance independent consultant or advisor. Working from home is also possible because of the nature of the work. Okay, now the passing score is only 10 percentage, meaning failing rate is 90 percentage. So since the exam and preparations and time involved are pretty intense, family support is very important, and self-interest obviously. Minimum 8 to 10 hours of study time, and if you could find out some, if you could join in prestigious institutions in Chennai and Hyderabad, they got better passing out results. Now, CA foundation course, which we just discussed. What you should do is start the preparation from 11th standard. Okay. Then you, after you finish your 12th board exam, in a month or two, then you can appear for CA foundation course examination. Clear that. Now, your next step is there are two parallel efforts. One, you continue CA's second level course called IPCC course, and parallelly you do this another step called private registration for a bachelor course. Typically, people choose BCom or BBA. So this course is your lifeline or a fallback course. So that in case you drop this CA for some reason, you will continue your education and learning in a typical general graduation course. Okay. IPCC. Well, IPCC is the second level CA course, and um, please note that you are doing this parallel graduation course. That means that you could only spend 10% time out of your day, whereas the 90% time you need to invest in CA preparations. Okay. Therefore, what you do is you will do a private registration. Okay, not a regular BCom. So with private registration, you could write your BCom or BBA papers one hour. I mean, paper by paper over time. Okay, you can't do like a regular course. Based on your preparations, you finish each paper and move on. Because once CA is finished, your BCom credentials are not relevant much. Nobody will ask for it. That's why people do private registration. And if you want to know what is private registration, please read this. Now, continuing, CA second level course, which we just saw is IPCC. Well, I put some notes here, success rate in CA. What I'm trying to say is this IPCC has two groups of IPCC is break down into two groups. In group one, subject one, it's called accounting. Now, if you um, pass this examination without too much struggle, You could see it as a litmus test that you could do CA mostly. Okay, it's a long journey, but this is the first exam if you could do it without much struggle, which is a good indication that you will be okay in CA. But if you're really struggling in this piece, um, my suggestion is that you drop it, CA. Okay, I mean, which is fine. It's not the end of the world, and continue your what you call graduation, and then you can later do MBA or STEM things like that. Um, that's about this comment here. Now I just wanted to show you something about IPCC and how many years it takes in CA. Now I also want to show you the textbooks involved in Group 1 and Group 2, and finally test books involved in final exam. Let's go one by one. IPCC. Well, IPCC has, like we discussed, it got two groups. Here it is mentioned module. Typically, it's called Group 1 and Group 2. You can see here 4 subjects, put together 8 subjects. That's about the IPCC. Um, Now this one is actually showing you. Hold on. Okay, let me show you. This is basically okay. This is basically CA course breakdown of different um, examination and all that stuff um, into three what do you call, there is foundation course to start with, then it's going to IPCC, then finally internship and final exam, right? Now if you spend some time here you will understand what it is, what each line item is, and the time consumed, and how does it become how it takes 5 years for the CA on average. Okay, so pause the video and spend some time here. The next thing is, okay, just wanted to show you that IPCC Group 1 means you got this many books. Okay, well, I don't want this is I don't want you to deter your interest in CA, but understand that you're taking up a challenging course. Okay, but if you have real taste for to become a CA and all that, and you want to really learn all these subjects, then this is not a deterring thing. But be aware, this is a long journey. Okay, this is the Group 1 for IPCC. Now let's take a look at Group 2 in IPCC. This many books, and for final course, this many books are involved. Okay, now let's go back to our discussing that. Now with that I'm done with CA. Let's move on to CMA. Now CMA, which is Cost Management Accounting. Let's see what CMA does. So they, unlike CMA is someone who works closely with management in a business. So what happens is the management wants to know business performance based on the numbers and figures. Okay, so they want to see the statements, reports, document, etc., so that the management could take better decisions to improve the business. Okay, so these associate CMAs are managerial accounting professionals, primarily used for internal purpose, which is board of directors and management use them. Okay, now let's take a look at how many steps involved to become a CMA. So CMA is managed by IMA, a US-based organization, Institute of Certified Management Associates. accountants. Here is the official web page. Now the cost involved in fees etc. is 1.5 lakh. The steps involved. First, you have to join the IMA association online, one-time fee. Then they ask you to enroll in CMA program, which is conducted and run by IMCA, okay, which is their academy wing. Then they ask you have to pay a fee, which is valid for 3 years. Then you need to finish two exams, part one and part two. Now, if you fail to finish in 3 years, you have to pay the fee again, and then you get another 3 years. Now, what happens? You finish part one in the first 3 years. Well, that doesn't help. You have to redo part one again in the next 3 years, which you just extended, okay, by paying the fee again. Now, just doing the part one and part two is not enough. They have additional requirements. First one is education requirement, which is you need to finish your 4-year degree course in an accredited college, and you don't have to do it now. You can do it anytime after your CMA exams. They give you 7 years to finish it, or you can do parallel also, whichever. Yeah, their next requirement is experience requirement, and they ask you to do 2 years continuous full-time work. You can also do part-time, and how it works is mentioned here. Spend some time reading it. Again, you don't have to do this again for you to write the exams, part one and part two. They give you 7 years to do this after your CMA exams. And finally, you also have to do a continuing education requirement, which is CPE, which is not a big deal. Okay, they give you 1 year to finish 30 hours of learning. Okay, so that's all required for to become a what do you call CMA. Let's continue the discussion. Now, a job in corporation MNC, and that's your place to work. Okay, being a CMA, you will have to find a job in companies and MNCs, medium to large scale. Passing out percentage is unfortunately lesser than CA. It's tougher than CA. Okay. Now, your freelance work or work from home is not possible because you are someone working with the management and board of directors. Now, job market, well, job openings are less compared to CA. Therefore, there are only less number of CMAs in the job market compared to CA. This in CMA also, you need to do a parallel course in BCom or BBA, okay, privately registered. Now let's take a look at exam and textbooks, okay. Exams. Well, this is CMA, part 1, hold on, part 1 and part 2. Financial planning and performance analytics, part 1. Strategic financial management. Single textbook contain various topics like this. And let's see the textbook. Yeah, it's in, well, it's only 2 books, is it? So it looks nice, sound nice, but no. These are monsters, it looks like, because it's tougher than CA. Okay. But if you want to do it, you can do it. Um, that's why it's so prestigious. Okay. All right. Now we done the. Let's come back to our initial thread. So with that, we are done with CMA also. Now I'm concluding this video as part 1, and I will continue remaining CS and ACCA in another video called part 2. Okay. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.